Right.
Wait, so
I think I got it right this time.
okay, we're going live now. So do you want
We're
to
going.
like do a
I
quick?
think I got it right now, guys. Sorry about that. Literally went live and we're just like, whoops, went live and I closed it. So rusty,
Jason,
man.
when
I've just
job?
been so rusty with this whole YouTube thing.
It's all good, man. Get back into the game,
We
man.
haven't been live on my channel like what 4 or 5 weeks now, so
For so
it's the
a bit
first
about a month. Yeah, over a month,
about a
I
month.
think.
First live show on my channel in 2018. What's going on, guys? And no, we're not late. It starts at 7 p.m. every Monday night.
Pacific Standard Time. All right. I mean, it
Yeah,
might be
Pacific
some other
Standard.
day in another part of the world, but
I think we had over 100 people watching earlier, so let's hope we can get those 100 people back. Uh,
oh man, yeah. Again, just a
oh, we
quick
have.
reminder for those of you. Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. Go for it, Danny. Why don't you do it? You got this.
Oh yeah, right now we're still in the pre-show, and I think Jason Vong will get some show notes later, right? Hopefully, Jason Vong.
Yeah. I'll do some show notes.
Okay, so there'll be some show notes later because right now we're still in the pre-show mode. So,
Yeah,
man,
for anyone who's watching after the live, this was a live podcast that Danny and I, this guy right here, that one camera guy, we do every Monday night. So please look at the
or
time code
try
at the
to
bottom for the
try to do
topic that we'll be talking about. Yeah, try to. People get mad, man. I still get comments about like someone saying, "Hey guys, hey kids, like, um, time is precious, man. Just get to the point already." If they don't realize it's a podcast, this was a podcast.
it's all man. Don't worry about it, man. I mean, the people that want to be here are here, and then you get new people all the time, and some people just expect something different. I totally get you,
Yeah,
and so
no, we're doing it. We're doing it for the people here, though, for sure.
yeah.
These guys are awesome. All right, let's see in the chat what's going on. Sup, Omar? Sup, Chris?
Oh
Daniel?
wow.
What is up?
Do I do I have the wrong chat? I had the old one open.
You still is it still streaming to the old one?
Okay, because what happened was I got a message that says like, "Bloop, Jason Vong is now live," right? So I didn't know
I
that
didn't
was the
know
one you
that.
were talking about prior.
That was
So
such
I
a big
saw a
fan.
few people in there. I guess
We're
oh
we're getting some people back. Yes, thank you guys.
oh
Sorry about that. Sorry for the hiccups earlier for people who are just joining in. What is going on? Darktron69, Damien, Cody, Benjamin Reese, Carlos, all the way from Portugal. It's 3 a.m. where he's at. Sorry about that. Ah,
I got
yeah,
Boris,
got some.
Francisco, man.
Yeah, Francisco is here. What's going on, Francisco?
Alex, what's going on?
Yes, Boris is
Man.
popping some popcorns, spilling the beans. Who said spill the beans?
What do you mean popping some
Quattro
popcorn, man?
Lahara.
Is Boris saying there's going to be a
Spill the
lot of
beans.
drama
No
going on?
beans to spill. I don't know. Potentially. Hopefully, it's going to be a good show for you guys to snack on your popcorn. Again, for those of you guys who are joining in, the live show always starts at 7 p.m. We're still about like 12 minutes away. So we're going to do some pre-show banter, as Danny likes to call it. So go ahead, say hi, drop a few questions. And if we can get to them, we'll definitely get to them.
Chris Barr said, "How does two tech guys in California have such potato internet connection? Is yours bad right now?
Is mine bad?
I don't
Oh
know.
no, that's
I would
bad, man.
say mine for sure should have bad connection. But I don't know about Jason.
Oh
Jason
man,
shouldn't have any excuses. Mine for sure should look like a potato at this
I
point.
don't know. It should be fine. It looks fine. It looks fine where I'm at. You look potato on my end. No, you look fine. Maybe
See, you
480p.
look like a potato. You're like potato on my end, but I don't know. It's just
Oh man,
I don't
this
know,
is
man.
bad.
It's
We got to
probably
get good
my
internet.
internet.
Well, hopefully
Yeah,
you guys can hear us. That's the most important thing about this whole Monday live
we
show
should
is
just
that
go
we can hear.
completely dark and just go purely audio, just to sacrifice the
Yes,
video
just
quality.
just full massive blackout.
I mean, I just wondered, like, who just listens to us for the audio? Like, you're just listening audio wise, and you're doing something else. I mean, or are you actually just watching us as we're talking on here?
I think that's
Would
the
be
whole point
curious to know.
because we're not really showing anything, so it's just mainly like listening. So
Yeah. And that's the hope, man. I just hope that people just listen in, and unless they're just watching us the entire time on a big screen TV or something.
well, I'm hoping my internet gets better. I'm terribly sorry about my poor quality right now.
It was
Tune
probably
in
at
next week for
first.
better quality.
Oh, what the heck? It's probably gonna be worse on on my end. All
Because you're
right.
hosting the show. I was fine last week.
Yeah. Um, I saw this question here already. Freestyle R04 is asking Jason, Sigma 135 f1.8 or the Sony 7200 G Master.
Wait, what?
135 Sigma f1.8 or the Sony 70-200.
You said 135 or 7200? Say, 7200, man.
Sigma 135 f1.8 or the Sony 70-200 G Master.
Yeah, which one? Which one, Danny?
Well, which one I'd go with? The 7200 in that case.
7200. I know we're
Yeah.
talking about photos. You can get away with the 1.8, the Sigma 135 1.8, but we're talking about like both video and photos. 7200 for sure. Francisco, Danny's potato quality, Jason's potato chips. I like potato chips, so that's cool.
I like baked potatoes.
Oh man, we would just I think we got a name for our podcast, Danny, the Potato Podcast.
That's perfect, man. That's all we need.
That's it. That's the name we're looking for. Potato Podcast.
What Alex Sandoval says, I crashed my Mavic Pro into the Coronado Bridge in San Diego yesterday and it lived to tell the story 70 feet above the water.
Oh my God, dude. Everybody's dropping their gear, dude. Danny, have you dropped your camera before?
Oh shoot. Oh yeah, that was that one time I dropped this A6000 twice in like in a span of like 30 minutes of each other.
Oh, this is an A6000. That's nothing.
Whoa, man. People only have an A6000, Jason. Relax, man. I mean, I know we have lots of cameras, but I mean, just A6000, dude.
It's just an A6000. It's no worries.
I'm just lucky there was that one time the 7200 wasn't mounted on it when it fell, so that's good.
Oh, that would have been heartbreaking.
I was testing out the kit lens, so it's fine. No, I'm good, man. Go.
I dropped my A7R3 the other day.
Oh,
that was embarrassing, man. That was embarrassing. It's fine. It's working great. Nothing is wrong with it.
Rite of passage.
So,
man. What happened?
So thank goodness. Thank goodness.
What happened?
It lived to tell the story. Yes. Anyone else drop their gear within these past 2 weeks? Because I've been getting a lot of stories on my Instagram and my YouTube. All these tragic stories and accidents. So you said someone like destroyed their Mavic or something?
Alex Sandoval, he crashed it, right?
Alex, come on, man. I mean, do you still have the Mavic Pro, Alex? Dave Sincere asked, any nicks on the camera? Nope. The entire camera is okay. You know, I honestly thought the HDMI port would have gotten wrecked because my HDMI cable port was completely bent. The cable was bent, but the camera was fine. The HDMI port was fine. So it's insane. There's like,
have you tested a new cable or anything like another device just in case?
Yeah, I tested it out on like Atmos, my Sakani monitor, any cables. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not gonna lie. The thing I'm scared most about with the Sony mirrorless cameras is the HDMI port. I have one of my Alpha 6300s. I think it's starting to have some issues because with the small HD focus when I connect the small HD focus on one of them, it doesn't work properly. But on my other Alpha 6300s, it work fine. So it's I'm probably have to get it sent in at some point. But yeah, the HDMI stuff.
Yeah. No, it happened to an A7S II that I used to shoot with, and it's horrible, man. So let's see here. Aaron Fleming says, I dropped my A7R3 with a 24-105 2 days after getting it. Ouch!
Oh.
That must have hurt a lot.
Wait,
I at least
what?
had my cameras for 2 months.
Aaron? Holy mac and cheese. What happened? How is it now? Is it okay?
Hua Win says, I dropped my 6,000 with the Zeiss 55. Okay, that's bad.
Yeah, that 55 needs some TLC after that.
The everyday
DSLR
dad.
video.
Go ahead.
DSLR video shooter dropped the 5D with a Tamron 2470 a few years ago. Didn't end well.
Oh no. Let's see. Everyday Dad says, after your A7R3 video, I'm terrified to take out my Lumix G9.
Oh. Mike Crosby dropped his 5D Mark III with the 16 to 35 lens in the ocean. Is it still there, Mike? Is it still drifting somewhere?
YC Imaging says, catch you up. You have not missed anything yet. The show is going to start in 5 minutes. We are 20 minutes early today. Super early. Damn. YC Imaging and DSLR video shooters are heavy hitters in here today. Andrew Brown says, yes, yes, they are. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Definitely.
Let's see. What is going on? Nick K asked, do you guys have any experience with the 90mm macro? Your thoughts? It's great, but we're currently using the 50mm macro for the wedding videos that we do, the ring shots, invitations. It's a great lens. We love the 50.
I haven't personally used it, but I've been looking at wanting to get a macro lens for Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So, ONC4D is asking, Sony 55 to 210 or the Tamron 18 to 200?
I have no experience with either of those.
I have the 55 to 210. I would just use it for video, photo-wise. If you want better quality, you're going to have to step it up. 18 to 200, obviously. I haven't used it, so that's a tough call. I mean, I don't know. What camera do you have?
Thomas says, hey, Jason, noticeably better audio. Oh, snap. Well, thank you for noticing my new mic setup that I got.
Don't jump ahead. That's still later for.
Oh, my bad. No, that's too soon for new gear. I'll talk more about whatever this is. You know, I'm put us.
Really funny. Now. What's really funny? It looked normal though. Like I didn't even notice it at all until you brought it up.
Yeah, it just looks like my Yeti microphone, right, with a little pop filter. God, it's so much better, Danny. I can't believe I just got it. It's just so much better.
Just turn it around for product placement and Rode sponsor. Please sponsor us,
please. Rode, please. Here, I can't turn this around. But I love this arm thing, Danny. Do you have this arm thing? This thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Of course, got this thing. Man.
There
people hate it sometimes.
There you go. People hate it. I think
when I do my videos, it's usually in the shot, and so people are like, "Man, just get that out of the way." I'm like, "But I like having this audio here, man."
I think DSLR video shooter has a couple of tutorials with setting up the lights with these arm things, so I'm very inspired. So I'm glad I have one. Let's see here. Alex Boy says Jason's video quality is good now. Danny is still potato. Yes.
What the?
Yes.
Yeah, yours says says HD now. You know, so man, screw you guys.
Alex Sandoval says, "Hey Jason, are you still doing your podcast?" This one right here is a podcast. And I've been sort of experimenting like little mini podcasts on my channel. I don't really call them podcasts, but I do have like 10-15 minutes of update videos that I just ramble on. So I guess you can call that a podcast. We'll see how long I can keep that up for. If it's any good, I'll probably brand it as a podcast.
Thomas says, yeah, Jason's audio sounds humanoid. I'm like, well, what did it sound like before?
It sounded terrible, man. I was like listening back to some of my old videos with like the lav mics and everything. I was just like, oh my god, how have I not gotten this Rode mic before? The only not issue, but the only minor inconvenience is that I record all of the audio to Adobe Audition. So I have to sync it up. So I have to do the syncing process again. But I did watch a video where someone connected a 3.5mm plug to the headphone jack of the Rode and plugged it into their mic jack of the camera, and it works. It records directly to the camera.
Wait, what? The plug on this thing?
Yeah. You just like plug a 3.5mm jack to it, and then you can run it and it records the audio directly to the camera.
Nice to know.
Anyways, we'll talk more about that. It is 7 p.m., guys. It is officially the start of Monday Live, the first one on my channel of 2018. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And I have my co-host here, Danny, aka That One Camera Guy.
Woo!
Awesome. So today we got a few things to talk about. We're obviously going to start new gear. Let us know what you've picked up over the holidays as well as over the week. Actually, over the week. The holidays was a while ago. But yeah, we're going to be talking about some upcoming news that Sigma will be dropping a bunch of new Sony FE lenses this year. They're going to announce a bunch of them. What's that?
That's going to be fire, man.
That's going to be fire. Yes, exactly. So they're announcing a bunch. They're not releasing a bunch, but they're announcing a bunch March 2018 at CP Plus in Japan. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then we're going to talk about the DJI MAVIC Air. The information has been leaked, but the official announcement, I believe, happens tomorrow. So we'll definitely pick apart that.
What if it happens in in 2 hours at 9?
It just happens now. It just happened. It just happens during the live show. I don't know.
Yeah, just let us know if it happens already. If you catch wind of it while the show's going on.
Yes, and then Danny has a few topics that he wants to bring up in regarding to, what is it, Danny?
So I brought up a couple of topics with the there's a video that's out by Martin Heilbronn. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Talking about the Sony menu mess. It's been picked up by a couple of websites, and then we might talk a little bit about it. Max just dropped a new video about camera issues on the Sony mirrorless cameras that are already mentioned. We might mention a couple of our gripes on our Sony mirrorless cameras. And finally, I think Samyang has an firmware update for the 35mm and 50mm FE lenses to improve autofocus performance. So that's some stuff I'd like to just chat up a little bit about.
Okay, so that's all at that. And then towards the last 15 minutes of the show, we'll do an open Q&A. So if you have any more questions for us, hang on to them tight. So, as always, we like to start the show off with new gear. So let us know in the chat, #NewGear, what piece of new tech or gear you got over the week. Danny, what did you get, man?
You know what? I haven't gotten anything yet, but I've got a problem. Okay, let me explain my situation. Right. Okay. We got this issue. Well, all right. So
the chat and I would do our best to do that on the show.
So, I've been meaning to get this review done. This Sigma 16mm f1.4, this particular lens. And so I rented it out from Lens Rental. Had it for almost 2 weeks now. And I think I have used it to shoot some formal pictures. And then I wanted to do some more like side-by-side testing, but I haven't had a chance to do it. I actually got sick earlier last week. And then I've been kind of out of it, so I haven't had a chance to really use it. And so I've just been extending the rental, the actual lens. And so I'm hoping I can just get something done, man. I don't know. It's getting bad. It's getting to the point where I think if I keep extending the rental, I might actually cover half the value of the actual lens. That's why I'm getting worried. So
you should just buy it, man. It's not even that expensive. Okay, well, let's just back up a little bit.
Jason, what have we said already? Okay, not a lot. Not everyone's got an A7R.
That's the problem. Just buying so many lenses and cameras, you just get so desensitized. Like, what is expensive? Expensive to me now is like anything over $1,000. Anything under $1,000 is like, wow, that's cheap. That's comparatively cheap. But
you should just like a $500 to $600 lens.
It's a $400 lens. It's under $500. So it's a fantastic lens. I know people are still waiting for a review from my end, but I don't know, man. I think people have already said a lot of the things that needs to be said about the lens. It's fantastic. It's great. It's sharp. And yeah.
Oh man.
Well, what I mean, like, how have you liked the lens so far?
I actually really like it, but I didn't really get the chance to use it on an APS-C camera, which is kind of what people want to see it on, I would assume. I use it on the A7R3, you know, and I use it on the A7R3 because I'm like, high megapixels, I'm still gonna get 18 megapixels on this thing. And if you shoot in full frame mode, yeah, you'll get like crap vignetting on the sides, but you still get a lot of detail in the middle. So I still want to test it out just with an APS-C like the A6000. I just haven't had a chance. It's been mounted on this A6000 for like a week, and I was going to do some testing over the weekend. I actually shot, we actually recorded a high school drama play, and we were using a bunch of Sony cameras for that. And I was going to do some testing after that, but I was just feeling really sick still. I just didn't want to. I wanted to try and get better as soon as possible, because like working and then going to work and being sick is just not a fun time. So that's that situation. And yeah, I've been itching to buy some stuff, Jason. You know, the lens that I've been itching about is the Sony 100-400 G Master. It's been getting me a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
Just
I don't know if you ever have that happen, Jason. Do you ever have those moments where there's like a lens you're just kind of like wanting to get, but you're still holding back? Is there one right now on your radar?
That was called the Zeiss 135 2.8, and I bought it. So I completely understand what you're going through right now. And it's just an eventual thing, because you want it. When you want it, you know, you're gonna get it.
There's just that focus though. There's just so much. There's just so many lenses I want to get, but it's just like I only want to get one and then stick with it. The one I'm going to find the most value in, and since I do a lot of sports, like I said, the 100-400 seems like one I would really like. And I did a loan period with Sony with it, so that's the reason why I really dig that lens. So, but yeah, awesome. Man, I don't have anything. I'm just trying not to spend too much money right now. So
tune in next week on Danny's Monday Live. His new gear will be 100-400 G Master.
All right, Jason, what about you, man? What have you purchased? I'm sure you purchased plenty of things over the last week.
All right, so I'll just quickly go over again what I got, because most people have probably heard about it during the pre-show, but got the Rode NT USB microphone, this thing right here with the boom arm, and my God, this thing is amazing. It's like, I didn't know what crisp audio sound quality was until I got this mic. I literally went back to watch a few of my old videos where I was just using a loft mic, and I was just like, man, this sounds like crap, man. So I have this. I've been recording a few YouTube videos with it, and man, I love it. It's great.
Now you know why I use it.
Yeah, I know. You know, when I watched your video, I watched Craig's video. I'm just like, wow, you guys sound like, you guys are like radio announcers or something. It just sounds so clear, crisp, and boomy. Whereas my Yeti mic, I had to like do so much finessing and like audition just to make it sound as good as Rode. And I don't think I even ever come close to it. So I'm planning to ditch my Yeti microphone. I mean, it's a great mic, but it just doesn't come close to the Rode, in my opinion. So. And I've been wanting this boom arm thing for a while, so I actually got the whole bundle right here. So I like it. I like it a lot. The only minor inconvenience right now is that I have to record audio separately, since it is a USB mic. So I've been having to record to Adobe Audition and then use Plural Eyes to sync my video footage with the audio. So that's what I've been having to do. But I did discover a little bit of a workaround where you can plug a 3.5mm jack to the headphones of the Rode to the mic jack of your camera, and it will record that audio to your video footage as well. So I just have to find I have to buy a long 3.5mm cable on Amazon sometime this week.
That's awesome. I mean, I use OBS. That's what I go with. So.
Yeah, you have a very intricate setup. Like you said, you have like the IO AO. What was that?
I have a 4K. I have a 4K capture card, and then I just wire that all in to OBS. So that's how I do my recording.
So Danny doesn't actually record anything onto an SD card. He just has the OBS running, and he would just do the full record, the video and the visual and the audio on that one file, he just edit and you just edit it, right? Like you don't even have to cut anything. You can just use like the what is it? The channel. What is it?
What do you
What's that term I'm looking for? The switcher. You can just like switch between a different camera.
I could if I was going to do that, and also I use the other camera back there behind me. I'll do top-down recordings, and I'll record that straight to the computer. So I'll also use like a capture card to that, and then I just bypass the SD card situation.
Yeah. Usually, that's crazy because like you're literally like your room is literally like a TV studio, a live television broadcast studio.
I mean, yeah, I in some degree. No, it's pretty cool, man. I'm glad I got into the OBS stuff last year because it's been out for a while. It's just I just never got into it, even the live streaming stuff. So I'm just really glad we got this whole like live show podcasting thing going because I remember, like I said, I still remember the times when we had so many mistakes early on, and it was just
we had to call each other on the phone just to talk to each other.
We had to use our phones to call, and I'm using a lens instead of a phone there. But yeah,
we had to dig up that old show again, just like watching us talking on the phone over a live chat. That's ridiculous.
There was like, oh, they're not professional. This is complete trash. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I don't know if we're still professional now, considering our potato quality.
That's true, man. My bad. I just
we're working on it, guys. It's a slow growth. All right, so let's jump into the chat and see what you guys picked up. Again, if you're just joining us, we're doing the hashtag new gear segment. So let us know what new piece of gear you got. We won't be able to go through everybody's new gear, but we'll try to go over as many as we can for the next 5 or so minutes. All right, let's see here. Andrew Jenkins says new gear: Sony A7R3 Godox, V862s, a Peak Design Backpack 30L, size 55, Sony battery grip, extra Sony battery. Thanks for divorce, Jason Vaughn. You're welcome. Gear is more important than a relationship.
Oh my gosh. Cole Anderson, 16mm f1.4.
Nice. Sweet. Joshua Kaysen, 6500.
Nice. Director C, new gear, Zhiyun Crane V2.
Did you pick that up from B&H at $399 hot deal? Man, I think it's still going on, guys. If you haven't gotten a Zhiyun Crane V2 yet, $399 on B&H. Go.
Oh, man.
James Deek, Flashpoint Explorer 600.
Nice. Bobby Samarco picked up a 16mm f1.4 for the Alpha 6500. Super stoke. Fitor bought a beer.
Thomas. Yeah, that counts. Yeah, gotta have a beer going on. Someday Danny and I might drink live. We'll see where that takes us.
Hey, there's Vegas, so I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah. I guess it's a good time to bring it up now. Danny and I will be at WPPI next month, February, in Vegas. WPPI is a wedding convention for photographers and videographers. So if you happen to be near Vegas, go for the show and come hang out with me and Danny.
And some others probably. So
after dark, we'll go check out some camera gear. Don't tell your wife, though. Let's see here. Joey11 says, new gear 16 to 35 G Master. Ooh, no lie. I am kind of eyeing the G Master 16 to 35 myself.
John Bato, new gear A7S2 and the 85 GM. Sweet.
Benjamin Reese says, yeah, go ahead.
Says, you can actually buy it. Okay, I got to look into that. I mean,
you might as well just buy it, man. Just buy it from Lens Rental. It's practically, you're probably the first one to have rented the lens. Just keep it.
I don't use APS-C too much, man. I'm into that full frame. But anyway, continue on.
Let's see. Michael Vaughn, Pick Photography, landed consistent work with well-known local studio. More money, more gear. That's what I like to hear.
Francisco Henry Ung, no new gear, but he says his A7R3 is in his shopping cart. You're going to purchase it after the show's over.
Okay, what's your Instagram? I'm going to send you a DM to push you to buy the A7R3. Francisco Joel Hernandez Photography, new gear, getting the Suray monopod tomorrow, finally. Chose it over the Open because it folded up smaller, and Gear Glasses and Gadgets recommends them. It's freaking sweet.
What If says, new gear, SERP Genie, 2 Genie Minis, and a Magic Carpet Slider? Are those like sliders and stuff?
The syrup is the time lapse thing. It's like this rotating little disc thing that like helps you do your time lapse. It's pretty crazy.
That makes sense with the name. Makes sense.
Chris Barr says new gear picked up vintage Pentax 50mm f4 macro $50 and a new old stock Polaroid one step SX70 for $5. That is some budget new gear right there. And
Sweet.
YC Imaging says under $500 is a steal. See, I'm telling you, man. YC Imaging gets it, dude.
Let's see here. What if says, Danny, can you test the 16mm with the A7R3 at 120 FPS Super 35? I can. Yeah, just remind me later on.
Dominic D, new gear, Canon shooter, dipping my toe into the Sony world, got the 6500 with a kit lens, a Meike battery grip, Sigma MC11, really want the R3, but not ready to quit Canon just yet.
That's tough. That's tough, man. Sometimes Canon makes me want to go back. I don't know. Hamda Brown says that he can cover 1% of the cost for the 100 to 400 for you.
All right, guys.
I'll be good,
super
man.
Chat donation for Danny. Actually, it will come to me. So next week, save it for Danny. Let's see here. I'm Jason Anthony. Zillion Crane 2, loving it. Fantastic.
Dave Sincere, new gear, new USB-C cord, new card reader, and a Wacom tablet Intuos Medium Pro. $350 for the Wacom tablet.
Awesome. Nice. Let's see here. Alex Boyce picked up 24-70 G Master. Very nice. And the 13th Dilemma says he'll be there. He lives in Vegas. 13th Dilemma, we'll see you there. Jim Penn says football helmet, new gear football helmet for when my wife finds out that I bought the Sony 85 G Master. I guess you'll have to sleep with one eye open now.
Oh, Alex Sandoval says it's his birthday next month and might have to treat himself to go to Vegas. Sweet, man.
Yes. Or buy yourself a new gear. Eco Alexandrov says, I will be having live shows at CP Plus in Japan using the A7R3, but I will use the Sigma lenses on it. All right, Eco, we want to see some live coverages, all right? Make sure you send us a link on our Instagram. I am pretty bummed that I'm missing out CP Plus, but we're going to talk more about that. You know what, Danny? Let's just get into it.
Get into what?
I don't know. Let's get into the news topic.
Okay, all right, man.
All right, let's do this. All right, so everyone's here because we all want to talk about this. So Sigma is going to announce a bunch of new Sony FE lenses at CP Plus in March. CP Plus is a camera convention in Japan. I went last year. It's freaking awesome, and I'm pretty bummed that I'm not going this year. But pretty much what happened was last week, an employee in China on social media, I believe it was Weibo, pretty much confirmed that there's going to be a bunch of new Sigma lenses FE mount coming. And he said on his status for people to stop asking him what they are because he cannot review anything. And if he did review anything, his boss will quote unquote beat him to death, which is a figure of speech in Chinese, which means his boss will be mad, not figuratively. I mean, like not obviously will beat him to death, but figuratively. But anyways, these lenses are not adaptations from the current art series lenses. These are going to be brand new designed specifically for Sony FE mounts. So they will be announced at CP Plus, but they're not going to be released right away. The releases will be spaced out throughout the year. So it's not like we'll get 4 sets of primes in March. They're going to be, tapered throughout the year. Would taper be the right word?
Yeah.
Tapered throughout the year.
Maybe
but
sprinkled.
It's sprinkled throughout the year.
Out.
Yeah. Spread out throughout the year. The 35mm f1.4 Sigma art for the Sony is definitely on the roadmap, but aside from that, we don't really know what else is on the list. So, Danny, what's your guess, man? What is your guess on the lenses that Sigma is going to come out for the Sony FE full frame?
I've got my very nice Sigma 35 1.4 here with the MC11 adapter. I think I'm gonna have to sell these, man. I gotta let them go if they're bound to release. Actually, what I'm really curious about is whether or not they're going to show a roadmap of all the lenses for this year, or they're just going to drop one or two, like two lenses at the convention.
So last year I went to CP Plus and they
You know
announced
what
the 14 mil 2.8, the 24 to 70 2.8, the 135 1.8, and like
I'm saying?
a telephoto lens. I forgot what it's called, but it's somewhere up your alley. They announced 4 lenses at the same time, so it's likely that they'll probably announce all of the Sony lenses. And I think they mentioned that they will announce a new lens for Canon and Nikon. But for the most part, I think it will be just all announced at that time, at that moment. So,
Dude, that would be so insane. That would completely, if they can keep the pricing effective compared to what Sony's offering in terms of cost, this thing's going to be very, very interesting. I would imagine.
I would say it's probably going to be roughly the same price as the current art lenses, right?
You think so? They're saying they're going to be using a new design technically, or potentially using a new.
Okay, I see. So
Not necessarily the
the
same
cost of
old.
R&D would probably jack up the prices just specifically for the Sony line.
I don't see why not to up the price because of the fact that there's not that much competition in some lens lineups, right? So, I mean, if there's a 35 f1.4, right, this thing goes for what, like $700 to $800 nowadays, I think, or even less.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it for a little bit less now, but
Um,
yeah, that's somewhere up the
I
price.
don't, but it's a fairly older lens. It's one of their older release lenses, but I don't know. I think it's a good move on their part. As far as the lenses, I'd like to see a 35 1.4. Maybe I can skip the Rokinon that I was eyeballing a little bit, but no, I
It's
mean,
oh yeah, I definitely will be picking up. I would definitely choose Sigma over Rokinon lenses. For I just couldn't believe that it's been like literally 2 years since I have the A7R2. And I think when I first got the A7R2, I was like, I'm waiting for Sigma to release their lenses. I'm waiting for Sigma
yeah.
to release their lenses. It's been 2 years, man. I've been waiting for so long. But now that I have a majority of all my lenses are like Sony or Zeiss anyway, so it'll be hard for me to try to get any Sigma lenses because there's
It
nothing that I'm really missing.
the only thing is the autofocusing performance and
That's
whether or
yeah, that's
not
mhm.
they can match the autofocusing speed with the Sony A9, which does the 20 frames per second, because that's always a little tail in there. So whether you need the 20 frames per second is a different story. And if you have an A9, but if you're one of those folks that need that speed and burst, then whether or not it can drive at 20 frames per second is going to be interesting to know. But like I
Another
said,
thing is
competition is always great. Yeah,
would
go
it
for
be
it, man.
would it be silent focusing? Would the focusing be fly by wire? What do you think, Danny?
I think I mean, it's not that bad already. I mean, even with the adapter, I know people are still going the Sigma MC11 route with the Sigma Art, the newer Sigma series glass. For general purpose photography, I'm cool with it, even with my 120 to 300 that I use for sports shooting. But I still prefer the native stuff, just works so much better in certain
Mhm.
cases. I don't know. This combination doesn't work very well in low light conditions for me. So that's the only reason why I would opt to pick up this newer formula. Hopefully, it actually works better. That's all. That's all
I
that's really important to me. It's just the compatibility.
I think so. I mean, like I feel like the Sigma 16 mil over the 30 mil was a massive improvement in terms of like performance. The only thing that I was bummed about was obviously when it focuses, it still makes noise, but it's not that bad. It's not that loud, anyways. But in terms of like handling and everything, the 16 mil is just so much better. So I think whatever they're designing for the full frame lineup, it's gonna be good. So I
What
trust Sigma
lens?
on that.
What lens are you wanting to see, Jason?
I'm pretty sure they're going to go for like 35, 50, 85,
Yeah.
at least to cover that range. I don't know if they will like put out any zooms, but I think they're gonna go prime.
See, I think they were saying about a 70-200 art or sports series lens for the Canon and the
For the
Nikon
Canon
mount.
Nikon,
I
yeah.
think
Oh,
so.
you thinking there might be like a simultaneous Sony release on that lens as well?
Man, that would be so killer because I'm not gonna lie, there needs to be an alternative lens for the G Master 70-200
Yeah, Dave Sincere was just like
because
$2,600, man. He's not down for that.
yeah, G Master is out of the reach of a lot of people. And if they bring in a lens around the $1,500-$1,600 range, maybe $1,000 off the G Master series, then I think that's a cost-effective approach. It might get more customers in there. So that's the only great. That's really the great thing. It's just more price ranges for people to choose from, and more competition against the G Master and G Series lenses that are pretty expensive. I mean, so
people like you and me with the actual 7200 G Master will cry if a 7200 from Sigma came out and it's like $1,300.
I doubt it. I doubt it. So, but hey, I might even add it. You never know.
Guys, let us know what lenses you think Sigma is going to come out.
What lens do you want from Sigma? What's the first lens, or even first or second lens, you want to see come out from Sigma FE? Holy smokes, we are getting some money.
We definitely are. So thank you, Alex Sandoval, for the $10 super chat donation. Keep up the great content, you guys. Well, thank you so much, Alex. And Maestro Pierce, forgot my weekly dues. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thanks, awesome. Michael. Really, gotta use that in Vegas.
Really appreciate your guys' support. So let's jump into the chat and see what you guys pretty much have to say about the Sigma announcements.
All right.
For CP Plus. Okay, so Danny, call it if you see anything.
Okay. I'm going. I'm trying.
I'm trying to. I'm scrolling.
Fire's going on. It's on fire.
Okay, so YC Imaging asks, what's the difference between FE and E mount? Enlighten me. Well, E mount is just pretty much APS-C, and FE just means full frame E mount.
Yep.
So FE just usually means it's full frame.
It's kind of a confusing thing if you're not familiar with it. It's kind of a weird nomenclature, like the way they designate it. Because if you I think if you haven't been in this ecosystem, you wouldn't know that. I mean, imagine if you had no knowledge about Canon, like Sony, would you have known that, Jason?
No, I mean, like it's like anything. It's like Canon having their what's the mount again? Oh my god, I'm so out of the game.
And EF.
EF and EFS.
Okay,
so EF is full frame, EFS is like crop, so it's equivalent to that. Yeah, honestly, it's so confusing. I mean, like even when I was shooting Canon before I was like so nerded out on gear, like I didn't know the difference between EFS and like E. So when I got the 17 to 50, 55 f2.8, that's an EFS lens, but I never knew it was there was a difference, you know. So I didn't know that it wouldn't work on a full frame camera.
That's what I like about the Sony stuff, and even Nikon at that point, where you can use the APS-C glass on full frame, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's the great thing that they're interchangeable for sure.
Now we got $5.
$5 from Mr. Francisco Joel Hernandez. Thank you so much. I don't want to scroll down and lose my position, but Danny, what did he write in his message?
He said, "Keep the ball rolling, guys." That's what he said.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry we're delaying. That's okay. We're going to keep on going. Francisco said, please, Sigma FE 135 1.4.
Ooh, I will buy that. Yeah, if that comes out, that's going to be on my radar.
We know Francisco is all about that 135 focal length, and he's been dying for something faster than a 1.8. This guy, Bokahor.
Oh. I'm the Brown dropping $10.
I'm the Brown. Damn, thank you so much. I'm the Brown. What did he say?
$10, man. That's just how he rolls, man.
Just $10. Dave Sincere dropping $5. I don't even need to see your name. I know it's Dave Sincere. Recognize that icon. You say anything?
Oh no, he's just dropping $5. They're just throwing money at you, man. Just like a show out here, man.
Thank you.
Except the clothes got to stay on, but I mean, it's just a show. So.
Oh, I mean, I'll start removing layers. I'm wearing $50, and I'll just take off everything. Anyways,
and we just lost everybody. Okay, great. So I just got to read this real quick. Jules De Jesus says, just went to Lens Rental to find the Sigma 16mm f1.4, but it said the Asian YouTube guy just doesn't want to give it back.
Stop hogging the lens, Danny.
My bad.
just buy it out and take it out of the market. Let's see here. Ian Salik says, I would pay $9,000 to $1,000 for any of the 1.4 they would drop. He has his money ready. Sigma, he has his wallet ready. Let's see.
Dave Sincere says, if Sigma puts out an E-mount 7200, he will buy it immediately.
Yeah, I honestly was waiting for the 70-200 from Sigma for 2 years now, so they're dropping that. Well, I don't know, man. I'll probably rent it out and give it a shot, but it'd be hard. It would be hard for me to sell like my 70. Even if we sold our G Master 7200, it's not like we would save any money trying to get the Sigma version because the money that we would get from selling it wouldn't even like match up to the original price.
Yeah. I think it's just great for the folks who really need a really nice 7200 f2.8, and hopefully Sigma can offer that for the Sony folks, man. It'd be great.
Info Commercial says he's looking for a 135 macro from Sigma. Ooh. Let's see here. All right, so here are the people. Here's what they want. Here's what they want from Sigma. Ultra Wilson says 7200 FE. YC Imaging says 35 and 85. Joshua Case says 7200.
Francisco wants 7200.
He want what? Okay.
Chris Barr wants a 120 at 300. I would want one too. If a 120 at 300 performs very, very comparable to Sony EMA, I will get one. Sell my other one. We'll get one.
Gerard Williams says Sigma 85 f 1.4 and a Sigma 20 mil 1.4. I'm thinking the 85 might have a better chance than the 20. The 20 did come out pretty late in the game, but damn, is it a sexy lens?
That Sigma 85 is massive, man. That's a big lens.
Massive, too big for me. Let's see here. Okay, so the Post Color blog says, I bet you that Sigma will come out with a 7200. They did it with Canon and Nikon mounts back in the day, so I bet it's coming. Is it one of the first ones or something?
I'm just like, if that was the first lens to come out and it was like under $2,000, around the $1,500, $1,600 price range, that would be bananas. It's just, yeah, I'm hyped if that was the case, but I doubt it.
Henry Young says 16 to 35 f 1.8 FE. Or some really good video lens.
That would be a massive lens. There's no way they could cram that all into one. That'd be a really big lens.
Just 16. Wow. Let's see.
Maybe APS.
Yeah, maybe APS-C. Maybe like an 18 to 35 1.8, but you know. Yeah. The rumors are saying that it's just purely full frame. We don't know anything if they're going to announce anything for the crop frame. Sigma did say they'll come out with a short telephoto prime for the Sony E mount, the crop APS-C, but we still don't know anything about that yet.
Raphael Styles wants a 2470 f2.
Carla,
I'm just trying to imagine, man. Yeah, go ahead, man. Go.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go, Jason. Oh, I'm just saying that Raphael is asking for a 2470 f2. I'm just wondering how big an f2 would that make that lens. I mean, it's
gonna be dark.
Pretty big lenses.
Yeah, a lot of people are definitely asking for the impossible. Carlos, like 18 mil 1.4. Actually, it's not that impossible, but I don't think they'll surprise us with something that's like a 1.2 2470 or something.
I think Sigma has a 500 f2.8 lens. It looks like a bazooka. It's like that big giant green giant massive lens. It's like I think it's like a 200 to 500 f2.8. So, I mean, they make some crazy lenses.
Maybe a couple of years down the line they'll have something like that for the Sony. Awesome. Thomas is I think Thomas is pretty spot on. He says he would love a 47 mil f3.3. I think that lens is definitely coming from Sigma.
Very, very exact request there.
Perfect. It's perfect. That's the lens right there. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys for chiming in your thoughts on the upcoming Sigma lenses for the Sony FE mount, and Danny and I will definitely talk about this again when it's officially announced. So we're definitely going to have a live show when the announcement happens at CP Plus. So about another month and a half, guys. Month and a half until CP Plus. Actually, when is CP Plus?
CP Plus. I thought it was March.
It is March, but let's see. What's the specific day?
Okay, you look it up before
Japan,
my quality goes potato. All right. If not this year, next year.
March 1st to the 4th. So March 1st to the 4th, the first week of March, we'll probably know something about the Sigma lenses. In fact, I think a few days beforehand, there's going to be images that will leak anyways.
True.
So speaking of leaked images, apparently the
Good
DJI
seg.
Mavic Air was leaked today. The official announcement is supposed to go out tomorrow, but images already came out. And I got this source from dronedj.com. So the DJI Mavic Air, to me, it seems like I don't know. I don't know if it's a true successor to the current Mavic Pro, but to me, it seems like a more upgraded version than the Spark. So here's what we know so far about the Mavic Air. It's a 32 megapixel panoramic mode, not a 32 megapixel camera, whatever that means. It has a new image signal processor. It can do 4K 60, which is super interesting. It's a three-way gimbal as opposed to the two-way on the Spark. It has foldable legs like the Mavic Pro, has the obstacle avoidance sensor on front, bottom, and back, equipped it with VPS visual positioning system for better control and hovering indoor flying, has gesture control, 21 minutes of flight time, and it will be available in different matte colors, white, black, and red. So what Drone DJ says, what people don't know is the codec of the 4K video, the weight and dimension, the speed, the range, and we don't know anything about the price yet, but it's to be expected that it's going to be $700. So, Danny, what do you think about this Mavic Air?
I mean, why not just get a Mavic? I think the only really interesting thing for me is that 4K 60p. If you need something with that video codec option there. If not, I mean, I'm seeing Mavic Pros drop in price already. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some drop in price, Jason, but
it's like
I'm starting to see the price.
It's like $700.
I'm seeing it go for
Costco.
Yeah, it's like $700, and then it's like $1,000 if you want the Fly More, or like a $900 for a Fly More combo. So, and the Mavic Pro is great. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the Mavic Pro the way it is right now. It's just if you want 4K 60p, it looks like this intermediate camera or this intermediate drone might fit in that mix. And I think they're tossing in that 4K 60p to kind of, make you go for it. So that's the way I look at it right now. I still haven't used my Mavic Pro enough. I've only crashed it once, but
join the club. Join the crash drone club.
I've only crashed it once, but I definitely need to use it more. So, but yeah, I mean, DJI Mavic Air. I guess if this is on the radar, everyone just hold up and not buy a drone just yet. I mean, you said it's going to be announced tomorrow.
It's going to be announced tomorrow, I believe, potentially. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this was just leaked. But what do you think? Is it the true successor of the Mavic Pro?
No, it doesn't look like it at all. I think it was a successor. Smart, right? Yeah, if it was a successor, I would see it land around $1,000 price range, even $1,100 to $1,200, and probably better features. I think. I'm not too keen on everything else, but it would look like you would need to definitely offer 4K 60p, and better flight time. Do you know how long the Mavic Pro goes for? Is it about 21 minutes?
It's a little bit longer. I think it's like almost like 27 minutes, 29 minutes for the Mavic Pro.
Yeah, then this is a dead giveaway. And this is not a successor, man.
So this is like 20. This is only 21 minutes. So yeah, so I think like we can agree that it's sort of like in between the Spark and the Mavic.
Yeah,
which is weird. I think this is something that I was kind of like looking more in line of, because like when I got the Spark, I was kind of disappointed. I already knew it was 1080, but just like everything about it, it's not for pro, and I completely understand that. It's for people. It's for people who are hobbyists. To get like a toy drone. That's what the Spark is a toy drone. But I think this is something that I think sort of fits in between for everybody.
If I don't need the 60p 4K, then I would just get the Mavic Pro if that was the case, because of the longer flight time. If you're saying it's close to 29 minutes versus this one. So I don't know if there's better tech in this one that's going to make it better for flying, but if it seems comparable, then price-wise, if I can grab the Mavic Pro, I would just grab the Mavic Pro at the same price.
Get the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Platinum.
So, I'm good.
Just pick up the new wings if you guys want a more quieter. It's not even that much more. It's much quieter, right? I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
should
Dogs
pick up
bark
those new
anyway.
wings though. Dogs will still see it and they'll still bark at it. So let's see what you guys have
They'll
to say
still
about
bark.
the Mavic Air.
Yeah.
So it says, Garma family says Mavic Air is lit 4K 60. And YC Imaging says if they can't give us all that in a good codec, then I'm going to be skeptical.
See, it doesn't have a pro title to it. It just says DJI Mavic Air. You know what I mean? So
Right.
if it doesn't have that pro moniker, then you might not get the more advanced codec options. But I don't know. Did the Spark have all the codec options available that Mavic had, or was there just not a lot of codecs available?
No, it definitely doesn't
I don't
have
recall.
like it does. I don't think it has like I don't remember if it had manual control or not. But definitely didn't have like
yeah.
There's no D-Log, there's no decent like on the Spark.
Mm.
So they purposely cripple that drone to be like as basic as possible. Let's see here. Coel Anderson says there is no guarantee that it does 4K 60. So I guess we'll see tomorrow.
We'll see in a few hours, maybe. And then
We'll
YC Imaging, YC Imaging says not all 4K is not created equal. I agree. Not all created
Kevin
equal.
Pham is asking, do you think they'll have D-Log for the Mavic Air? Not sure. Hopefully.
Michael Mistro says kind of looks like a kid's toy potentially, or looks like it's for kids.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have a link in the description box below. If you guys want to check it out. You guys want to follow along? There are links in the description box. Oh my god, I forgot to mention that.
Shameless.
I have all this prepped. Let's see here. I'm Jason Anthony says Autel's new floating drone with 4K 60 looks very promising. I think I'll keep my Mavic until both are dropped. Right.
YC is like it doesn't look fierce enough to be a successor.
Yeah, I'm curious, what are you guys hoping for the Mavic Pro 2, assuming it'll be called Mavic Pro 2. What improvements you guys are looking for in that drone? I think for me, if it can have that 1-inch sensor like the Phantom 4 Pro and can do 4K 60, I'll be pretty much sold on the new Mavic Pro 2. A foldable, pocketable size drone. Well, not really pocketable.
Photo Meike says it actually might be a dope little drone with great quality and a prequel to the next Mavic and Phantom.
Yeah, pretty much as a successor. Yeah. Well, not successor, but like a step up from the Spark. And the Spark just came out like literally like last June, didn't it?
I think so.
Let's see. Infomercial says at $700 it can't be the successor of the Mavic Pro, I assume. Now, Adrian says, I would only upgrade if the quality was better than the Mavic. I love the Mavic, but the P3 qualities are still better.
DJI.
Oh, what was that, Danny? You glitched out a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything on your end, actually. I just stayed quiet.
Okay, I'll repeat what I said. So Adrian says he would only upgrade if the quality was better than the Mavic. He loves the Mavic, but the P3 quality was still way better.
Okay.
And he says 60p 4K for drone footage is not a big deal.
Yeah. Interesting.
Junin says Junin Canador says 4K 60 is a must-have today. Let's see.
But do you need it? Because that question, that comment got brought up. Do you need 4K 60p on a drone?
I think people want to see 4K 60 in general. I mean, like for us, for you and I guess for a few other people here in the chat, we use 4K 60 very differently. We use the 60 frames to slow down footage.
Whoa. I don't have 4K 60p. You have 4K 60p?
I don't have 4K 60p, but I'm saying like what we would use it for. What we would use it for is a different story. But for people, I think like, I don't know about you, Danny, but I always get comments like, how come you're not shooting 1080p 60? How come you're not shooting 60 frames per second? I was like, I don't need to shoot 60 frames per second. But people want that 60.
I was like, when did Jason Vaughn get this 4K 60p, man? I don't remember the Sony A7R3 getting this 4K 60p.
Well, the Phantom 4 Pro can shoot 4K 60, and we tried it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Shoot.
Let's see. Infomercial says, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the rumor was better low light performance at 4K. If that's the case, that could be a big selling point. Mavic Pro's weakness is low light.
That's good. If that's the case.
Definitely the sensor size. Oh man, Danny, we are losing track of time.
Oh, what's up? What's going on?
We're losing track of time. It's already 7:44. Let's try to blaze through our last few topics.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get on to it, Danny.
Well, we got one you dropped. It looks like there's going to be a more affordable battery grip for your Sony A7R III or your A9. I've got the official Sony battery grip here for the A7R III, and I use it for the A9 as well. And I don't want to spend another $348 for another battery grip at this time. And checking out the Meike battery grip just to check it out and hopefully see if it's any good. Jason Long, do you have a battery grip yet?
I completely forgot that I put that on the show notes, but no, I don't. I don't have a battery grip, and I wanted to get one under your recommendation, the Meike one. I think it works well, right?
I don't know about. I never got one for a full frame body. I only got the ones that were meant for APS-C. So
the only thing that bugged me is the wire that has to be attached to your 6500 for the battery grip.
Yeah. That's the biggest criticism about it, and there's some flex issues with it. So people have had issues with their Meike grips. So only because the APS-C just wasn't designed to house the battery grip in the first place. So people definitely have had their qualms using that particular battery grip. But I would hope that this one, since the camera is designed to house a battery grip, to potentially check one out. Although I'm hoping I haven't heard any stories about short-circuiting your camera using a third-party battery grip, so maybe I might be cautious.
I think Manny Ortiz shot with a battery grip, like a third-party battery grip, and he had like no issues with it from what I remember. But it was like a long time ago. So
no, if you had the A7 full frame, A7R series whatever series full frame, did you use like a Meike grip, and did you have any issues with it? Be curious to know.
Yeah. Oh, you're asking the audience, not me. Okay.
So, yeah, asking the audience if anybody in the crowd has actually used it, because, but yeah, I might pick one up and just try it out. So
for sure.
But yeah. All right. So, Jason, I gotta ask you a heart-to-heart question here. What do you actually think of the Sony menu system? Is it easy to navigate, like convoluted? Or is it a architected beautifully and it's easy to get through? Jason, what do you think?
Well, to me, it just feels like, a lot of people who had issues with the Sony menus are just pretty much coming from a different camera, so they're not really used to it. But at the same time, I do understand there are certain things that are just kind of all over the place in the Sony cameras, especially in the A7S II and the A7R II. But I think they handle that a lot better with like the A7R III, and I think you mentioned the A9 earlier.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, I think like menu system, they can always constantly improve it. I think the best one so far that I've used would be the Panasonic. It's just so detailed. Everything is really organized. Yeah. So I definitely share the sentiment that the Sony menus are a bit confusing, but at the same time, I just feel like it's because we're trying to learn like a different system. That's why it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, by the way, I bring this topic up because there was a video that got picked up quite a few places from Martin Helbron. Hopefully I'm saying that right. He made a video about fixing Sony's menu mess, and had a lot of chatter with folks in the comment section of those videos. A lot of folks agreeing with them about as far as the issues with the Sony mirrorless menu system that are currently on their bodies. But then there's also folks who have been using the Sony mirrorless system who say otherwise, saying that as long as you customize the menu system, it's actually a very easy camera to use and learn. But for those of you who are just starting off, it's actually, I would imagine that if you just, like Jason was mentioning earlier, if you just suddenly jump into the Sony mirrorless system and you're used to like Canon or Nikon, it's kind of confusing. It really is. And right off the get-go. But there's videos online that show you how to go through the menu system. So if you need help with that, feel free to check out my videos. Shameless plug. And
that's self-plug though. That's self-plug though.
But I think the A7R3 and the A9 system pretty much solved a lot of those issues with the My Menu option. You can customize it to pick the most frequently used settings option, and then you can customize the buttons however you want to. But I think as far as initially using the camera, it's a very convoluted system initially. But I think we use these cameras a lot, Jason. I think that's the reason why it's not that complicated. It's gotten not as complicated over time.
We've gotten used to it, and literally anything that's out of place, we know where it is now. Like, oh, Super 35 mode is on page like tab 2, page 9 or something on the A7R2. So we know how to navigate now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the chat, I mean, what are your personal thoughts on it right now? Are you comfortable with it already as a Sony shooter? Or are you still just find it really frustrating and annoying?
Yeah, let us know how long you've been using it and what your current state of mind with the menu system.
They can always improve it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm not defending them there. I'm saying they can always improve it because I love the Canon menu system.
It's not perfect. I think one thing that they could include next time definitely is, or maybe I just don't know this, but a way to press a button to like let the menu tell you what each option do. I think Panasonic does that. Like if there's certain thing that you don't understand, like you can press a button and it says, oh, Zebra does this, histogram does that, or whatever. Because sometimes they have these like short names, short handles in the menu system, but you don't really know what they do until you actually flip through the instruction manual. But actually having it on the menu might be a little bit more helpful.
I completely, and you just brought up a really interesting point that was mentioned in the video by Martin, was that you tend to find a lot of like function disabled in the Sony cameras a lot, right? It happens so often. I'll be like flipping through the settings and I click on it and it says function disabled. And then the point that was recommended was, why don't you let me fix the problem so I can use the function, you know? So I click it says function disabled. Well, let me do something in this menu so that I can use the function in the first place. So that is definitely an area they really need to figure out. So yeah, let us know some of your gripes.
Yeah, that was me during the wedding day because I was trying to pull up grid lines, but I didn't know it wouldn't pull up if I have like the 2:3:5 aspect ratio marking going on. So I think like you said, like if it at least said like function is disabled, please turn off marker display, and then I'll be like at least like, oh, okay. So
that'd be a good. And that's a point you mentioned in there.
Yeah,
I think that's
we definitely need like some sort of like smart autonomous thing in our Sony cameras. Hey, Sony, turn off
like,
this.
Like I said, yeah, you can learn it. You can learn the system and get around it, but they definitely still need to work on it. All right, let's see.
And last but not least,
we're gonna hammer all the topics.
Are we? I don't know. Do you want to? Or let's just jump into
yeah, let's just jump into the chat real quick and then tackle some Q&A.
All right, guys, we're gonna do open Q&A. We'll extend it by like another 5 minutes, so we'll go on to 8:05. So let us know in the chat what are some of your questions.
All right.
Use the hashtag QA. Yeah. All right, let's just read off some random comments for like 30 seconds.
All right, Joey Levin says, I've used third-party battery grip for years with the A7 II. No issues. Work flawlessly. Good to know.
Nice. Let's see here.
What happened, man?
I don't know. Let's see here. I'm Jason Anthony. Says being able to use your custom menu with shortcuts to selections you use more is definitely a plus.
Yeah.
And Matt Fan 1 says, I imagine if you shoot Sony for years and jump into the Canon menu, it'd be also confusing for a bit. Yes. Like, you know what? I even get confused using my A7R2, going back to using it after using the A7R3 for so long.
Let's see. Chris Barr is asking about, what do y'all think of Frono's Photos A7R3 review? I have not yet had a chance to see it yet.
I have not seen it yet, but I bet the production quality on that is insane.
Matt Fan says has a newer grip for the A7R2 for about a year. No issues. Good to know.
So the 13th Dilemma says, already used to the menu system after a month. Nice. And Nathan Figueroa says, I'm comfortable with the Sony menu, but my A7R3 record button, I'm not used to. Neither am I. Garma Family says the new updated menu is better.
Michael Mistro, Sony menus are perfectly. A lot of symbols up. The fact that you have to put a second menu in the Sony camera tells you something.
Tom Ryan says Sony menu kind of sucks. They made it way better when they implement My Settings tab on the A7R3. I still have to try out the My Settings. I still haven't programmed anything to it yet.
What they need to do is actually bring that feature to the other models. They have it's such so bad on that end. I mean, they really should. They really should bring it down to the other models.
I don't think they will. I think
see why they can't.
It's something that's going forward. I think that's something that's going to be going forward.
I know. It's terrible.
Let's see one. So XRTBO original NEX5 was terrible. New ones are massive improvements. All right.
Mm-hmm. UOF Mad 42 Go Blue says 4 months with the A7R2 and I'm just as lost as I was on the first day.
Oh no.
Ouch. I'm so sorry.
Junin says Siri and Sony maybe. Let's see.
Ooh.
Alrighty. Okay, let's actually jump into the questions now. Nick K says, do you guys have any experience with the Sony 90mm f2.8? If so, how do you like it? Yeah, it's good. We used it for a brief period of time, so it's a good lens, but we're using the 50mm f2.8 now, which we like. It's a lot shorter. So you can't really go wrong with a Sony 90mm macro if you are in need of a macro lens. The thing is, with the 50mm and a 90mm macro, you need to manual focus if you're like focusing anything that's really close, because the autofocus is just really slow on those lenses. And Nick K has a second question. Any experience with motorized sliders, Danny?
None. I have no experience, unfortunately.
We have used the Outercron Slider 1 with the motion module. I think we're gonna drop that system, Danny.
Ooh.
It's been like glitching out on us because like we have to use an app to control the motor slider, and it's just so annoying because like our apps keeps crashing, the thing wouldn't respond. It's just a bad design. I think like anything with a motorized slider, you have to be able to control it on the module itself rather than the app on your phone, because the app on the phone is just so unreliable. And what if your phone just like suddenly stops working or something, like your battery dies? So it's just I don't think motorized slider that has to use an app is a good design.
Got it. Tiny Truck Climbers asks, do you use an external monitor with your gimbal? If yes, when?
We don't. With the A7R3 now, we can use the sunny weather to make our monitor brighter. So that's how we've been using the gimbal now, outdoor.
Yeah. Keep It City. How do you feel about that Sony Alpha 6500 video autofocus compared to the A7R3? It doesn't seem as responsive in my test. Any advice? Huh. Like, I guess my question would be a question back to you is, in what circumstances have you found it lacking, though? I haven't noticed it in any major situation, not performing well.
Yeah, neither have I. Let us know more.
But details. I haven't done a side-by-side test, so I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, let us know details, like what's your autofocus settings on your camera? Is it fast, responsive, normal? Let us know all that detail as well. Let's see here. Dave Sincere says, Q&A, I just shot a marriage proposal the past weekend. It happened so fast. What's your advice on shooting proposals and weddings? Always have 2 cameras. Always be prepared.
So you had to shoot a marriage proposal then? So obviously he knew ahead of time, obviously, right, before it was going to happen. Man.
Yeah, I think it's just just a lot of planning. Yeah, you have to do planning, like the spot that the person's going to be at, and just having the focus ready to go.
Having a Sony A9, 20 frames per second, 7200G master. You're not going to miss it for sure at 20 frames per second, and focus can be spot on.
So,
I'm
so,
sorry,
so,
Dave, since that was a terrible answer.
so Danny says, go drop 4.5 grand right now for a camera where you won't miss the moment.
Man, that reminds me of that story about this photographer that they hired to go shoot one, but I think when she had shot it, they all came out overexposed, the photos.
Oh,
You didn't
you're
have her
talking about
setting.
that viral post that went on Facebook?
Is that the one with the weird faces? I'm not talking about that
Yeah.
one.
Oh no, okay, never mind.
There was one about a marriage proposal, and I think they came out overexposed or something. But yeah, story for another day. Anyway,
I don't know, Dave Sincere. In terms of that, I would honestly just be as prepared as you can. That's honestly the best advice I can give. Like, if you know the spot and the location, just sort of scout it out beforehand before it even takes place. Same goes for weddings. Like, I like to go to the venue, um, either the day before or a week before. Like any free time that I have, just to like really look for the location, scout it out, and see if I need any lighting or anything like that. And it'd be a good time to do any sort of drone shots if needed. So just being prepared, just being able to go there and scope out the place. And if you can't physically be there, look up like videos on the location and the spot. That's honestly it.
do your homework.
Do your homework. Tom Ryan says, Q&A, why do you recommend something like a Came TV Bolton for weddings? Why don't you recommend something like an Aperture HR672 for weddings? Well, the answer is very simple. I have not used the Aperture lighting yet.
There you go. I'm not even sure what those are. I'm guessing those are lights, right? They're lights.
Those are lights. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are lights. I mean, the Came TV Bolton, it's awesome. I like it a lot. So I might pick up a few more Came TV, or I might just pick up a few Aperture lights. But comparatively, the Came TV Boltons are cheaper than the Aperture lights.
Got it. John Louis Imperial, currently using Viltrox L116T LED lights for portraits. What benefits am I going to see if I switch over to Rotolights Neo 1s?
I don't know. I don't use the Rotolight Neo. I use the Flashpoint Explorer 600.
Yeah. Sorry, not a good answer there for you. Alan Andrews, Sony 35mm 1.4, yay or nay?
Yay.
Wait for the Sigma?
Wait for the Sigma, but if you want to
Unless you
stay
need
within the Sony Zeiss realm, go for the 35 1.4. I regret selling mine. So that's how good it is. I regretted it. I regret selling it. Jim P. Penn says, QA, I have both A7 II and 6500. I'm happy with both, especially with the G Master lenses on the A7 II. Do you find a compelling reason to go for the A7R3? Yes. Focus is so much better, faster, much more accurate. It's fantastic. And the image quality that you get from that 42 megapixel. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Just, yes. I mean, you don't need to necessarily upgrade for it. I mean, like if both system is working just fine for you, just stick with them. But if you're thinking you need the better autofocus, the better image quality, go for the A7R3. Don't even bother going for the A7R2. Just jump straight to the R3.
Just wait, Jim. It seems like you're pretty happy already with your current lenses, so just chill with that until you find a lacking, something that slows you down. You feel like it's not giving you what you need. That's what I would do.
XRTBO QA RX100 Mark V, or wait for the 6. Honestly, I think 6 might be coming out this year. So if you have the patience to wait till the end of the year, wait for the 6. If not, get a 5.
Mm-hmm. Tiny Truck Climbers, Q&A, what's coming first, 6700 or the A7S3? I'm on that one.
I'm placing my bets on the A7S3. That's going to come out first. Let's see here. Well, what's going on? Tony Brown giving us a Chinese character and say, thanks, guys. That Chinese character means love.
Oh, it does?
Yes, I think so.
Thank you, Tony Brown.
Thank you, Tony Brown.
Appreciate it.
Fantastic. All right, we got a couple more minutes, guys. Let's see here. Alex Sandoval. Hey, Jason. I'm on the fence getting the Sokani monitor on Amazon. What does the small HD focus do that the Sokani can't? You can put custom
Ooh.
LUTs in your small HD focus, so you can preview your LUT over the footage that you're shooting. Pretty sure it has zebras. It auto rotates when you rotate the screen, so that's pretty awesome. Danny might have more experience with the monitor than me, though.
I'm actually looking at the Sokani monitor. Actually, it's like it's $299 on Amazon, and compared to the $499 for the small HD focus, but the small HD focus definitely has the edge in terms of just flexibility and use.
Yeah.
But I think there's a Levitka Photography. I think has a video on the Sokani monitor. You might want to check out if you haven't seen it yet.
Or Jason.
Yeah, it's on my radar.
You know.
Oh, I mean, on a Sokani monitor.
Yeah. I think our friend Zed Pro Media put it the best. I mean, like if you don't need the fancy LUT and the auto rotate and all that stuff, just go for the Sokani monitor. Just save the money on that because he said it's pretty damn good.
There you go.
Jim
Penn,
Imaging.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jim Penn just dropped $10.
Jim,
thanks for your advice.
Thank you so much. What's the message?
Flowers towards your SO, your significant other, Jason.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll tell Vivian that. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a couple more questions before signing off. YC Imaging asks, any experience with a 28mm f2 for Sony? If so, how is it? It's great. I've never personally owned it myself, but a lot of friends say they rave about it. What about you, Danny? You have any experience with a 28mm f2?
I have not used it, unfortunately.
Well, YC Imaging, what will you be using it for? For videos, I would assume, right? More for videos.
Keith here. 85mm f1.2.
25.
There's an 85 1.2 or this 24 to 70 G Master for your first lens. I prefer 24 70.
24 to 700 G Master. What's going on?
Froggy first, man. What's going on, man?
All right. All right, Danny, last question. What do you see?
Zoom Chris is asking, how's the Rokinon 35 f2.8 FE autofocus? It's okay. I use it every now and then. I haven't used it a lot. But it seems to be just fine. Zoom Chris. But I haven't done like a thorough review on that thing.
Cool, man. All right. I guess that's it. Time is up. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for yet another Monday Night Live. This was the first of the year, so thank you for joining us. Got a lot of people watching, and we greatly appreciate all the super chat donations. Danny, what can people expect from you?
Nothing. Okay, moving on.
Danny, I'm not gonna make YouTube videos.
I'm not gonna make any more empty promises. So there's nothing right on the radar. You'll see a video pop up when it pops up. So
okay, so it'll happen when it happens. A few reviews coming out from me. What do I have going on? Okay, so I have my setup video coming out tomorrow morning, and then I'll have a Peak Design bag review coming out this weekend. So look forward to that. And next week, the Monday Live will be on Danny's channel. So Danny, where can they find you? Danny,
just search up that one camera guy on YouTube.
That one camera guy. Same time next week, 7 p.m. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys then. Peace.
See you guys later.